to a point that they knew that it was connected. That's what the reason why they didn't want us to know our culture coming over here. They had to strip that. That was the main thing they wanted to strip from. Two key important people in the Haitian Revolution. Number one was Hassan the Overture. He was the general at the first war, the Haitian Revolution. The time he got captured when Napoleon then tricked him of saying we want to do a peace treaty, but that ain't worked out. So his lieutenant, Jacques-Jean Dessalines, stepped up and said, no, we're going to end this right now. So they not only beat France once, but they beat them twice. And that's the reason why France had to sell the Louisiana Territory. That's why the reason why the U.S. is built is so big as it is today. So in 1804, January 1st, that's when Haiti had their independence, and that's when Jean-Jacques Dessalines became more of the father of the Haitian Revolution.
Okay, so Charles Dominguez, the leader, led the largest slave revolt in U.S. history. It was what happened was that him in a Louisiana plantation, a part of the Woodland, actually the Woodland plantation, he armed himself with him and others armed themselves with knives, hoes, axes, slave, and they all came together and they got together and marched after killing their, overturning their master's power on the plantation, and they got all together and actually started burning down and tearing down everything that was in sight. So this led to the military coming out, and the military actually started executing them. If they weren't executed, they were either, execution or either brought back to a plantation. But the majority of them actually died. Nat Turner's Rebellion of 1831. Now, Nat Turner was is a famous slave revolt because of how him and I think it was his accomplices, him and his accomplices actually had a bloody uprising because of their the execution of over 50 white people they actually killed. And oh yeah, the rebellion. Yeah, so in their rebellion they killed 50 people, 50 white people, which led to the revolt. And they also with this revolt, it led to them actually being killed. And because of his revolt, and they cited Nat Turner's his intelligence, this led to acts and laws which basically oppose the right for people to write and read, for African Americans to write and read. The Homicide Rebellion. This is a famous.
Us want free.
We've all seen the movie, hopefully. Go ahead. This rebellion, homicide means friendship in Spanish, which is, contradicts everything that went on in homicide. So basically, they were kidnapped near Sierra Leone and sold to the Spanish slavers, despite the fact that slavery was actually illegal at this time. And what happened in this revolt was that a Spanish cook told one of the slaves that they're planning to eat you. So they're like, they have to get together and actually rebel by getting sugar canes and using them as knives and actually, turning over the ship and actually being the ones in control. So what happened with this rebellion was that the homicide finally arrived in New York, where they were put in court. They were tried in court, but they were proven innocent because slavery was actually illegal. So you couldn't take slaves from Africa. After 3 long years, of course, they returned to Sierra Leone, where they established a settlement and sparked reforms, which led to the independence from the British. The Creole Slave Revolt of 1842. Now, in this revolt, there was a cargo of 135 slaves. Now, and this, which made this so relevant is because they had an actual slave that was what they considered like Django. If we all seen that movie as well. And what he wasn't for this. So when he knew he was going to get on this boat, he knew he was going to go. So he led a group of slaves. They all came in there and actually rebelled. They rushed the captors. The captain, he was wounded, killed, but the slaves, they took over and they forced the crew to take them to the Bahamas. Now, what was different about the Creole slave revolt was these slaves actually knew geography. They knew actual where land was. They were actually smart. So they forced them to take them to the Bahamas, also because the Bahamas, it was you could not try them for any wrongdoings or any laws. There's nothing that forced them to be tried for being a slave, I guess I could say. So because of this incident, they were all free, but because of this incident, the United States created a Negro Seamen's Act of 1842, which basically made it hard for black sailors, and they were, of course, oppressed.
All right, the Mau Mau Rebellion in 1952. This revolt allowed Kenya to have its independence. And one thing about what the Mau Mau tribe did,
scorched earth.
They took a chapter out of the Shaka Zulu book. What Shaka Zulu did when he was actually having wars on the continent of Africa and South Africa, Shaka Zulu used to go to the mother gods of the village and ask, what day, what time do I strike? Can you ask God so I can win this war? And they go pray to God. He said, at this time and at this day, this is when you attack. That's why Shaka Zulu was almost like dominant. It was one of like, how is he doing this? It wasn't just because he was just his physique or his appearance that actually put fear, true, but it was more the spiritual side also. One thing what the Mau Mau warriors did, they used to take the children, everybody that was about to be initiated into the woods, deep into the woods, and they say a certain oath and perform ceremonies and magic around them. And they knew they didn't have the artillery to fight on the front line with the British Empire, but they said, we got something they don't have. Not only our spirituality, we know how to operate on our territory. This is our territory. They don't know this. This is the back of our home. We're going to win this war. So at that time, they formed, which was already going through, they came with the bringing military science to the front. So for Kenya to have independence today is because what they went back and retrieved the knowledge of what their ancestors showed them and keeping that element. The Watts Rebellion, 1965. Get somewhere close to I can talk about this rebellion. This rebellion happened in Watts, of course. One thing about this rebellion that I love is the fact that if it wasn't for this rebellion, Cal State University, Dominguez Hills wouldn't even be where it's at right now today. Because it was going to be Cal State University, California. That revolt changed the dynamics, made Governor Brown on March 3rd, 1966 saying, we need to do something for these minority groups because it's about to get hectic. If we don't calm them down, they probably going to take over the whole damn state. So they knew they had to do something. Especially, when we come with the thunder, we come like that. So that's one thing about this rebellion that all I can say is just summarizing it up. And if you don't believe me, you can Google it on CSUDH and type it in. Information will come up talking about the Watts Rebellion and how the university got its name. So
yeah, and I just want to mention that this August is actually the 50th anniversary of the Watts Rebellion. This is a big year for the Watts Rebellion, for the students. Ted also mentioned this is on our website. So I looked it up myself. I took a class where we actually, intro in the hip hop, where we actually talked about it. So it's very relevant. It's very, it's here. We're part of history right here. So, and I just wanted to let you guys know that this is the 50th anniversary this August. So, yeah. Also, we wanted to bring up being academically successful as you pursue higher learning is a form of resistance. We're all in a form of resistance right now. They don't want us to learn. They don't want us to have all this new knowledge. They didn't want us to be here right now. So we're right now. This is a revolt. This is the action of social justice right now. So I just want thank you guys for coming to be here. Being in the resistance of, not allowing them to, oppress us. We're growing. We're going to keep growing. of course, social justice is the dynamics that progresses us, and, it changes the dynamics of us, you know what I mean? If it wasn't for all these revolts and tons of others, we wouldn't be here right now. So, we just gotta keep pushing. So that's what I want to let you guys know. And, thank you. So, go ahead.
I missed like the first 3 minutes because I didn't know to push the button.
Our history, my history, knowledge is how we have